All rise. We will lever. The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte. Please be seated. We will s'asseoir.
Thank you very much. Court officer, the case, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The situation in the Republic of Kenya in the case of the prosecutor against William Samuel Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang. ICC 0109-0111. We are in open session.
Thank you very much. Appearances?
Morning, Your Honours. For the prosecution, appearances remain the same.
Good morning, Your Honours. The same. Thank you. Good morning, Your Honours. Mr. Sang's team remains the same.
Mr. President, Your Honours, good morning. The defence team of Mr. Ruto remains the same.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kigen Katwa, you requested additional time.
Mr. President, I had very kindly requested for an additional 15 minutes. There are two areas which I very much thought I needed to cover, and I have every expectation to be able to cover them within 15 minutes. I know I've given an indication of a much shorter time. I unfortunately underestimated how much time I needed. I very kindly request for your accommodation.
Right, try and do it in 10 minutes. Mr. Mutai, I note your presence as well. I have forgotten to recognize you during the appearances, but I note you are present in Nairobi with us, with a witness.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Witness, welcome back. Mr. Kigen Katwa will finish up his cross-examination of you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Good morning, Mr. Witness.
Good morning, Mr. Keegan.
The first thing I want to do is to go back to the audio that we played yesterday of the 25th December 2007, which is at tab 12. And I would like to play timestamp 21.32 to 22, just so that we confirm who read the number plates of the motor vehicle. The ERN number is Ken-D11-0013-0028. Mr. President and Your Honours, my interest, Your Honours will see at page 579 that Mr. Sang said something, then Mr. Taru said something and read a few vehicles which we did yesterday. Then subsequently Mr. Sang interjects, and the impression that transcript creates is that Mr. Sang read the rest of the number plates. I just want to go on record that in fact it was not Sang who read the other 20 number plates. I will play the audio.
KZ 178R nebo KBS number go 812 Nissan Diesel, KBA 034N nebo City Hopper, number of City Hopper ko 485.
Koro kari of City Hopper ko ba Nairobi town ni jege. Kunguta ka oro Eldoret, ka oger ngap Sabit, ka oro Kabarnet, ka oger ji Mombasa, oger ji Kisumu, akano.
Number itage ko KAZ 027F nebo City Hopper, KAW 022W.
Mr. Witness, in the yesterday's questioning, you confirmed that you can hear Mr. Sang's voice, but could you confirm if it is Mr. Sang who is reading those number plates?
It is not Mr. Sang.
Now, I would like to move on to a different issue.
Mr. Kigen Katwa, your point being that the transcript is not as accurate as it should be.
That's exactly the point, Mr. President. Now, Mr. Witness, I want to take you to tab 36 of Ruto's bundle of documents, and this is a document that was also in the bundle belonging to the prosecution, and it is Ken-OTP-0117-1059. Mr. President, for purposes of these questions, I would request that we go to closed session briefly.
Closed session? A private session, rather, sorry.
I apologize, it's private session.
That's all right. Did you say tab what?
Tab 36 of Ruto's bundle, Mr. President.
Mr. Keegan, could you please repeat?
We are in open session, Mr. President.
Now, Mr. Witness, you were taken in the course of cross-examination by the prosecution through various conversations that you had with a lady to whom you have made reference and identified in private session. Do you recall that line of cross-examination?
Yes.
Now, from the statement that was availed to the defense, I noticed that in all instances, she is the one who called you as opposed to you calling her. Could you confirm if my understanding from the statement is correct?
You are correct.
Do you know why she initiated all these calls?
No.
Now, you said at a certain point, or more specifically in an affidavit, that she's the one who recruited you. You went on to tell us that she's the one who explained to you the substance of what you're supposed to capture in your statement if you are to qualify as a witness. You recall that?
Yes.
Did you have the impression that, in fact, the prosecution trusted her?
Yes.
Did she seem to be aware what other witnesses had said?
Yes.
Witness, what gave you the impression that the prosecution trusted her? Can we go into private session for that question to be answered? Don't answer it yet. We'll go into private session.
We are in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Keegan.
Now, could you confirm whether you had the impression, okay, let me ask you first of all, did you know whether this lady, whom you've been referring to, was coordinating and networking the witnesses for the prosecution?
Yes.
Now, you told us that she advised you on a number of things that you needed to notify the prosecution. May I ask you, is there anything that she requested you to do in your relationship with the prosecution that you expressly refused that you would not do?
Sorry?
You've told us that at various points she would intervene either to tell you what to say or how to conduct yourself, including initiating the call that we went through a moment ago. And my question is, are there instances when you declined either what she advised you to say or declined what she advised you to do?
Yes.
Could you give the court an illustration of one instance? And probably before you answer the question, we could go to our private session.
We will go to private session, and you've been at it for 20 minutes.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Witness.
Good morning.
I'd just like to follow up very quickly on one issue that my learned friend for Mr. Sang raised this morning regarding a CAS FM broadcast that was played to you yesterday. Your Honours, I'm referring to the transcript at tab 12. Do you recall...
Who's tab 12?
I beg your pardon. The Sang Defence tab 12. The ERN is Ken D11 0014 0568. And for the time being, I'm interested in page 0579. Do you recall, Mr. Witness, that you were asked to confirm that Mr. Sang only read out one registration number and that the rest were read out by his caller? Is that right?
Yes.
Did you also hear...
Mr. President, I object to that. Probably my learned colleague would take us to the transcript where Mr. Sang read even a single number plate. My position is that he didn't read any whatsoever.
My learned friend is correct. I withdraw that. In fact, Mr. Terrace read a number plate. There was an intervention from Mr. Sang, and then Mr. Terrace continued to read the rest of the number plates. Is that correct?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes. Did you hear Mr. Sang say just prior to that, and I'll read out the English transcript from the third paragraph of tab of ERN 0579. The English translation is given as follows. Nonetheless, since he has issued a signed press statement and spoken in his own words, read to us the vehicle's registration, just in case people have seen them, whether they are really there or not. Did you hear Mr. Sang say that?
Yes.
So would it be correct to say that Mr. Terrace read out these various registration numbers in response to a request to do so by Mr. Sang?
Yes.
Your Honours, I refer to page 0577 of the same bundle, where in the last paragraph there is similar statements made by Mr. Sang that Mr. Terrace would come and read out the numbers, but I don't think we need to traverse it with the witness. Thank you, Mr. Witness. I'd like to move on to another subject. Perhaps we can call up again the investigator's note that my learned friend for Mr. Sang put to you. The ERN is KenOTP 0117 1059. It's RO2, lesser redacted version. Your Honours, it's at tab 36 of the prosecution bundle. I mistakenly said it was at tab 21 earlier. I apologize for that.
Mr. Steinberg, the document is before the witness.
Thank you, Madam Court Officer. Mr. Witness?
Mr. Steinberg, hold your question. Just a little matter of, to make life easier for everyone, to all parties. When you compile bundles, please place cover pages on each front. The first, basically cover page on each bundle. Either run into series, so you can say prosecution bundle volume 1, volume 2, so that we're now looking at bundle here. We have to figure out who it is that did this, and then, it was the Ruto defense. We should be having cover page saying Ruto defense bundle volume whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honours. As regards the prosecution bundle, it's in a hard folder. It should appear on the spine of the folder.
In addition to the spine, also do it on the spine if you're using that kind of binder that allows a spine to be had. But it's also on the first cover page inside that needs to be the same.
Noted, Your Honour. Thank you. Mr. Witness, this concerns a report that you provided to a prosecution investigator regarding the incident. Your Honours, I think we dealt with this in private session. Perhaps we can go back into private session.
Private session.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Madam Court Officer, can you please confirm when we have the floor?
You do have the floor, Mr. Steinberg.
Mr. Steinberg, while the video is being set up, is there a transcript somewhere we should be going to in the meantime?
Your Honours, I imagine there is a transcript in the defence bundle, but I'm not interested in the words, only the pictures.
All
so
right.
we don't need to look at the bundle. I'm afraid we have a technical issue here. The screen has just got a screensaver on it. Perhaps we could get some assistance. While that's being done, Mr. Witness, perhaps I can just ask you, you were played a video of a... let me just pause there for a moment. Your Honour, it does not seem that this is going to be solved in the next couple of minutes. I think I should move on to another point and maybe we can resolve it in due course.
Would it be easier if the court registry played the video instead of yielding the system to you?
Your Honours, we've tried that.
Right. Okay.
Unfortunately, due to the size of the video, it doesn't play in e-court, certainly not smoothly.
All right.
The defence was kind enough to help us with a copy.
Kenyatta to quit the party, stressing
kwa sababu tunajua ya kwamba tutafaulu tukiwa pamoja.
Is that what you wanted?
Thank you, Your Honour. We resolved the problem. Can we just go back to timestamp 0043?
Sisi tuko tayari kwenda barabara.
Thank you. Your Honours, can I confirm that you have the image?
Yes, we do.
Mr. Witness, can you see that image?
I have not been shown.
All right, once I can... Yes, you may proceed.
Thank you. Madam Court Officer in Nairobi, can we please give the witness access to this image, which is being broadcast?
Mr. Steinberg, we can see the image.
Thank you. Mr. Witness, you see that now?
Yes.
And can you confirm that this is the same video that was played to you by the defense for Mr. Ruto last week, or earlier this week, I think it was?
Yes, it was last week.
And you were shown a photograph in the defense bundle, and perhaps I can ask that this be called up briefly. It was Ken D09 0038 0072. Can we call that up, please?
Do you remember where it is in the bundle itself?
Yes, Your Honours. It's at tab 7 of the Ruto defense bundle. That's the one in the soft binders.
Mr. Steinberg, the image is being shown to the witness.
Mr. Witness, you can confirm, I believe, that as we can all see, Mr. Ruto in this picture appears to be wearing the same clothing, at least the same jacket, shirt, and cap as in the video. Is that right?
Yes.
I'd like you to look behind Mr. Ruto. What is that you see in the background?
I'm seeing people seated.
And above the people that are seated is a brown object. Is it not correct that that is a large marquee tent?
Yes.
And take a look at the people as they are seated, a large number of people seated behind Mr. Ruto. You've noted that?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Court Officer. Can we have the floor again for the video? I'm going to play this video a bit longer. And I'm going to ask you to look whether you can see any such a tent behind Mr. Ruto.
Delegates na wajumbe wataamua ni nani ambaye atabeba bendera ya ODM. Kama maneno ya masikizano hayawezekani, yale ya delegates yakishatokea, watu wasije wakasema tena pengine tungezungumza.
Mr. President, what's happening here is...
Wait, Mr. Fowl, no. Let Mr. Steinberg continue.
Thank you, Mr. President.
What do you see in the background of that picture, Mr. Witness?
I'm seeing plants.
Plants, trees, and there are a couple of people just visible on the right-hand side. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Now, a couple of related questions. Would you agree that the campaigning period prior to the 2007 elections was quite short? It was only a few weeks or a couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yes.
And would it be correct then that politicians who are hoping to get elected would have to make the most of the time available to campaign as widely as possible, correct?
Yes.
And would it be common for politicians who are campaigning to visit more than one event on a day?
Sorry?
Would it be possible, or was it common, to your knowledge, for politicians during that campaign period to attend more than one event on the same day?
Yes.
Can you exclude the fact then that Mr. Ruto, dressed in those clothes, attended more than one event on that day?
It is possible.
Mr. President, may I at this stage raise my objection?
Your Honor, what I want to...
Mr. Fowl, no, you can deal with this in submissions.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, no problem.
Mr. Witness, did you ever see on television or, well, let's stick to television. Did you ever see television or reports of Mr. Ruto arriving at political rallies by helicopter to much fanfare?
I had.
Do you say you had or you heard?
I heard.
Okay, so you heard about Mr. Ruto traveling around the country by helicopter to attend rallies, is that right?
Yes.
And are you aware, Mr. Witness, that when traveling by helicopter, you can travel from Nairobi to Mr. Ruto's house in Sugoi in between 67 and 84 minutes. And, Your Honours, the source for this is KenOTP 00920917 at 0920. Would you dispute that?
I won't.
Right. So you would agree then, Mr. Witness, that the fact that a politician attends a rally at one place on a particular day does not exclude the fact that he might attend another rally at a different place?
Question is overruled. That's argumentative.
Yes.
Witness, when I say question overruled, you don't answer the question.
As the court pleases. I'd like to move on then to, can we call up photograph, also at tab 7, defense photograph. Bear with me. Ken D09 0038 0052.
Tab 7, you say?
Tab 7, Your Honours.
Of
yes.
the same bundle?
Of the same bundle.
Of photographs?
Correct, Your Honour.
Mr. Steinberg, the photograph is being shown to the witness.
You identified this when asked by when asked by my learned friend for Mr. Ruto whether this was at location D, and you agreed. You recall that?
Yes.
What is it about this photograph that tells you that this is location D?
Private session.
Mr. President, at this stage, perhaps I should make my objection. The witness was showed a series of photographs, not just this photograph. And I recall he was showed first a photograph.
Mr. Fowl, you can argue about these things in your submission. We don't have to cover everything when a witness is understanding.
But, Mr. President, all I was trying to suggest is that learned counsel should be fair to the witness and not just showed him a particular piece of evidence taken in isolation from everything that he was showed. He is being trapped in order to say something that may be incorrect. He should be given the same material on the basis of which he made a particular statement, and not just things taken out of context or in isolation. He should be fair to the witness.
Mr. Steinberg, proceed.
Thank you, Your Honours. You answer the question, sir.
Sorry, I said we go into private session.
I thought you were there.
I noticed we've not. Thank you.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Court Officer. I'd like to move on to the logbook that you mentioned earlier. It's at tab 8A of the Ruto Defence First Bundle, Ken D09 0038 0498. And I'd ask the Court Officer to call up page 0665.
Mr. Steinberg, could you please repeat the page you would like to be published?
0665, please.
Thank you.
The page is being shown to the witness, Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you, Madam Court Officer. Mr. Witness, I refer to the second entry dated the 9th of May 2007. I'll just read it out for the record. A visit by Honourable MP Eldoret, I believe it should be North, constituency, Honourable William Ruto, with other guests, i.e. Area Councillor Mr. Mutai and CDF Chairman Eldoret North, Mr. Mayo. I'd just like to confirm with you, is that the same Mr. Isaac Mayo you spoke of in your evidence?
Yes.
That's the same Mr. Isaac Mayo who you say...
Wait. Did he speak in private or public about the gentleman you referred to?
When I get into details of the contact with the witness, I think we would have to go into private. Perhaps it would be safer just to do it just for 2 questions, to go into private session, Your Honour.
Private.
We are in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you, Your Honours. Could I ask you please to call up Madam Court Officer of the same series, page 0652. 0652.
Mr. Steinberg, page 0652 is being shown to the witness.
Thank you, Madam. Mr. Witness, can you please note the date of the 3rd entry, 1st of August 2006? You confirm that?
Yes.
And you confirm that the next entry appears to be the 5th of September 2006 and opens with the words, "The school opened with a good number of students," etc. You see that?
Yes.
The gap between the 1st of August and the 5th of September, will that correspond with the normal school holidays? Mid-year holidays?
Yes.
And would you agree then that during the holiday time there were no entries made in the logbook?
Yes.
Would you say that's normal in schools in Kenya?
Yes, it is normal.
And on that point, I don't think we need to go to each of these pages, but at page 0655, we have a last entry of the 8th of November, 2006. And on page 0656, the following entry is dated 9th of January 07, and again starts with the words, "The school opened officially with a few students reporting." That would be consistent with the Christmas break, correct?
Correct.
And at page 0673, we again see a break from the 1st of August 2007 to the 4th of September 2007. Again, the mid-year break, correct?
Correct.
And then at the end of 2007, page 0687, the last entry appears to be dated the 6th of November 2007, which describes a chemistry practical. Page 0688, there appears to be an incorrect entry dated the 6th of November 2008, which is crossed out. And on the next page, we have 2008 Term 1, page 0689. So again, no entries over the Christmas holidays. You would agree that that is normal?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you recall being shown by my learned friends a Board of Governors, the minutes of a Board of Governor meeting? of the
public session.
Your Honours, I'm aware of location D. I won't mention any names.
Tab.
Your Honours, I'll just find it quickly. It's dated September. _21st of September. It's at tab 16, Your Honours. Ken D09 0038 0427. And at 0428, the minutes record the discussion of a harambe, and I'll just read it out. It says, the members suggest to go and see Mheshimiwa Ruto. Who does that refer to, Mheshimiwa Ruto, to your knowledge?
It is Honorable Ruto was the MP.
Honorable William Ruto, correct?
Yes.
And then there are 3 members who are named to do this task, and a 4th member was to book an appointment with the MP. Is it correct from this that we can infer that as of September 2007, the institution at location D was planning another harambe at which Mr. Ruto was going to be consulted about? I think we can put it at that level. Would you agree with that?
It is possible, yes.
Now, the date that you've given in your statement for the harambe was the 19th of November, correct?
Yes.
Would that fall during the school holidays?
It is towards the closing.
We have seen the last entry of the logbook in 2007 as being the 11th of November. I showed you that. Is that correct?
Yes, you showed me.
And the previous year, we saw that the school closed on the 8th of November. Remember that?
Yes.
So the 19th of November is well past both of those dates. Isn't that right?
It is right.
Thank you. We move on. Your Honours, I see the time. I'm afraid with the technical issues and the court's judgment, I will probably need another 15 minutes.
We'll take our morning break now and come back in 30 minutes. Court will rise.
All rise.